Welcome to the Resilient Rebel Show. My name is Elian Haan. If you're exhausted from holding it all together, you're anxious, you're feeling stuck in a cycle of burnout, self doubt, or maybe you're waiting for that someday, you're in the right place. This is where we stop apologizing for who we are, start telling the truth, and take our power back. One bold, messy, beautiful step at a time. You belong here. Let's rise, rebel, and rediscover joy together. Welcome, everyone, to the Resilient Rebel Show. I am Elian Haan, and I'm picking it back up. I've been absent for a little bit, and I'm so excited to be back with the show. And I'm really even more excited to be back with the show with monthly guests. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. I'm going to take it away right away. I have an amazing guest on today. She has a story. She has a remarkable story, and she's also a remarkable friend of mine. I'm going to introduce you to Heather Buzzard today. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and I'm going to start right away saying, Heather, it is so good to have you on the show today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Elian, for having me on your Resilient Rebel podcast. I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're going to have a great time. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm always
yeah.
going to start with the very first question. Who is Heather Buzzard? Take it away and tell me a little bit about who you are, just some facts about you.
First and foremost, I give all praises to God. I give my praises to God and start out with that first. After that, I'm a published author, I'm a speaker. I speak about spirituality, self help, self awareness, using my personal life as an example. I like jazz music. I like to be outside. I live out here in California, so I love being at the beach. And, I just enjoy uplifting, inspiring, encouraging others, using my life as an example for that. It's one of the reasons why I wrote my book to help uplift and encourage, especially adopted children, because
We're
I
going
was.
to definitely talk about your book today. We're going to definitely talk about that because that makes you more remarkable. And you published it, so I'm so excited for you. It is
Mhm.
out there, it is available on
Yes,
Amazon.
yeah,
We're going to talk in a minute about that, but I want to be with you on the beach for a second because I love the beach as well. So it's so
yes,
wonderful that you are in California, you are close to the beach, so you can hop on the beach anytime you want to. And I'm jealous. I love that. I love that. I love that. So you work as a coach, right? You
yes.
are helping others. So tell me a little bit about that, and then we'll go into the book story.
I take clients who are willing to look at themselves and desire to have a guide to support them on their path in life, uplift, inspire, and encourage others. We have our spiritual toolkit that we give ways to help people to build their trust, faith, and belief in unseen energy. You'd be surprised how many people. I had a problem with that myself. So it's really using what I learned and passing that on to my clients who come to me looking to build and self-empower themselves.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I always say everybody needs a coach. Everybody
Yes.
needs a coach.
Yes.
We just need to, and we don't need to have advice from somebody necessarily. Sometimes it's just seeking a listening ear, which we provide, a listening ear, and sometimes just some direction, right? It's not necessarily with coaching, same with me. It's not like you should do this or you should do that. Just kind of guiding and seeking and peeling away layers of how we become the very best version of ourselves. It's what I so love about the work that we do. And I love that you do that for others. You have a perfect background to do so. And yeah, you might find that very specific audience that is just looking for you to talk about this. And we're going to start with that today. So it's kind of like this question of what makes you that resilient rebel. Tell me about when we met. We met on other shows. You have a podcast. We're going to talk about
Yeah.
that in a little bit. We met on another podcast platform. We became friends. We're working together. What is this thing that made you write this book? Tell a little bit about the story. Let's start with your story a little bit.
Well, it's my life experience. It was my past life experience. And I didn't really. The reason why I chose to write the book was one, to get all of what I carried in of my past, to get that out into story form so that I would no longer be that,
Yeah.
and that I could have my story uplift and encourage someone else. I also wrote it for adoptive children that may have, because I was blessed to find my birth parents by the grace of God,
Yeah.
and to give them the encouragement to step out to look for their birth parents, even though they may not know what's on the other side. It benefits you in the long run
Yeah.
because it does help you heal some wounds. I
Sure.
wrote it to heal myself, really,
Yeah.
in all truth. When I was writing my life memoir, it helped me see how far I've come and to really own all of that. Because one thing I've come to realize, we truly can't accept all of ourselves until we own the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
Yeah.
And in writing that life memoir, I was able to accept all of that because it's done and over, and it got me here today. And if I had to do it again, I'd do it the same way.
I love that you said that because I kind of look at it the same way, especially with my memoir. It came from journaling a lot. And
Yes,
journaling is a great coping great coping tool, skill set, right? To go
yes,
into writing about what you're feeling and what you're going through. And the more and more I did that over the years, I kind of saw this book story coming alive, right? And my story and your story, not alike at all, but kind of awkward, right? Awkward moments in
yes,
there, painful, trauma, and all these things, if you're looking at it and you can forgive yourself and go through, I know you talk a lot about forgiveness. If you can
yes,
forgive yourself and kind of see why you did certain things that were maybe not so cute in the moment, right? And we did things and like, oops, shouldn't have. But then we know where it's coming from and why we did that. And with your story, that's so remarkable. I'm going to dive into that. Is that you grew up with your parents behind you in the picture in a dominant, right? Caucasian
yes,
family. And
yes.
what the heck happened, Heather? Tell me. And yeah, just tell me a little bit how that all came about.
Well, I was 6 weeks old when I was adopted, so I didn't have any logical control of where I went. That was up to my grandfather, which was my birth mother's father, which I found out down the road.
Yeah.
Um, and my mother at the time was looking to adopt children. It was back in 1970, and she had two sons of her own, and they had adopted a daughter who's my sister. They
Yeah.
adopted her a year before, so they wanted her to grow up with somebody,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they adopted me, and it was an interesting lifestyle, I tell you, because as a child, you don't think about it
Right.
because you're so open and free.
Right.
And I had a great childhood. I mean, space to run and play and all of that. Yet there was an incident at the age of 8 that shaped my life.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't realize it, yet it shaped my life going forward. So,
It was kind of where you always felt that you, I mean, you had a great childhood, you were playing with all the kids, you were out there, but you were the only one that was not the same as the rest of the kids, right? Kind of,
that's true.
you started feeling that and you started noticing that growing up. And I think we especially started noticing that, of course, very early, but stepping into that awareness, maybe in our early teens, maybe even before that.
well, through my teens, I can remember saying 14, 15, 16 that God had got it wrong, that I was a white girl trapped in this black body because my environment was all Caucasian. That's
Oh,
all I saw.
yeah.
So, in order to fit in, your mind will play tricks on you and will tell you things,
Sure.
even though what you see isn't, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was a mind,
Yeah.
just
You start believing what you want to believe, sort of.
right, right.
Yes. And what
And
people tell you, what is normal for you.
and one of the things that my mother was growing up was she would make remarks about my race of people, and they weren't positive remarks. And I wouldn't understand why she would say negative things. And I always had that question to her, why did you adopt me if you feel that way
Yeah.
about my race of people? And she never answered that question. Yeah, in my book, I put what I truly felt was, and sadly, she did end up like her mother. She
Yeah.
was trying to not be her mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've come to know when you try not to be like somebody, you end up being like them.
Yeah, yeah, if you
Yeah,
tried really hard to show something else and to
yeah,
prove something
yeah,
else, but
yeah.
in her heart, she followed in her mother's footsteps.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, believing things that were not really healthy and not at all healthy for you. Yeah,
No,
that kind of
no.
rolled out in a sense of, "You're my daughter, but everybody else is black," right? That is awkward. That is
It
really
is.
awkward. That is really awkward. When did you
It
feel that you're kind of stepped to into that, yeah, I mean, when did you start talking to her and asking her about it? Was it in your teenage
about
years?
the age of 14, 15, I
Yeah,
started asking her questions. Um, she never answered them. She would never, and then I just kept on answering questions, and then that rebellion energy, since this is a resilient rebel, my rebellion energy at that time was so negative,
yeah,
and I was running away from home, I was stealing, I was skipping school, I was slapping principals in the face, I mean, expelled from school, stealing cars,
yeah.
I mean, doing everything that I could to get away from that environment. Yet Elian, today I realize that was a savior because my spirit couldn't be in that environment. I wouldn't be sitting here today if I hadn't done what I did as a young child. I truly believe that with my heart and soul.
There's a reason for everything. I believe that
Yeah.
God gives us a reason for everything to grow up and glow up to that certain person that we need to be, right? And
Yes.
it's just a really hard thing that we have to go through that. In the moment we don't understand it. The lessons always come later. I always say the teacher never talks during the test, right? They're always
Right.
really quiet. And then, afterwards you get the answers of where you need to be. I believe, as a rebel, one of the reasons why I call this the Resilient Rebel Show is that we have rebelled. And we also now are a rebel in a sense of we're stepping up, we're having a voice, we're claiming our voice, we're talking about it. We forgave ourselves. We are not buried in shame and guilt anymore, right? And shame and guilt was a really big topic in your book. So, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, growing up in my household, because of the way that my mother spoke about my race of
Mhm.
people, I felt shameful for being a black person
Yeah,
in a totally white environment and also being called names by Caucasian people and then having to come home to Caucasian people. So it was really a mind mess.
yeah,
And so that bore low self esteem, low self worth,
yeah,
just all of that. And when you have that as a young child, you don't know what to do.
true.
And self survival, defense, defending myself, I built walls to save myself.
Yes.
And I tell you, if I hadn't, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Yet, when I stepped on the spiritual path at 18, and I started understanding spirituality and the principles, and I started understanding forgiveness
Yeah,
and why it would be so important for myself to forgive myself and all involved in my story.
yeah.
Did I begin to realize how free I could be? Yeah, that was a journey in itself because it didn't happen overnight. Oh no, I fought, kicked, and screamed all the way down that path of forgiveness because I thought in my mind, they did this to me, and oh, how dare they get away with it? And a lot of us think that. No, but
Yeah.
I tell you, it is freedom because they're not thinking about it.
And I
It's
love
only
that you always say that. I love that you say that
yeah,
forgiveness and stepping away from shame and guilt and letting all that go and working.
yes,
I'm the one that always says I'm so with you. It takes about 20 years and it takes the willingness
yes,
to step into that place and start peeling layers away. And when we're
yes,
young, like you said, 14, 15, in the first place, you don't know any better. You're fed all this. I mean, you had people that were amazing to you, and at the same time, in a really weird place verbally with you, especially mom, and dad was more of a protector, I think. It
yes.
was just it's so difficult for you. You cannot know this when you're young. Now I see that because we don't have any frame of reference. We
No, we
don't
don't.
know what the outcome of all this is. We haven't been there before. We haven't seen the results of our actions and the outcome of what we're choosing. So when you're young, I think that whole, like you say, that whole rebelling and being angry and taking it out on the world. It's a normal, no, it's a coping mechanism. It's a normal defense skill as well. It really
Right.
is. It really is. And then what you did is, and I say we have to willingly be open to step into that place, to start peeling the layers away of, yeah, I did that too, in a sense of, nah, maybe our family was not so shiny and cute as it looks on the outside, right?
Right.
Maybe there
Right.
was a lot of pain and a lot of hurt on the inside. And plus, we're coming from a time that that was really not always talked about. So it all,
No, we
as long as you look really good on the outside and the family looks beautiful, right? And then so then we find out that that's really not the truth, then that gives us some shame. And then we have to overcome that and step into the next phase of wanting to see what it did with us and how we reacted, right? And that was not
yes,
always good.
yes.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Another thing I'd like to say too is that comparison energy. My mother raised me with comparison energy and conditional love. I love you, Heather, if you do this for me.
Yeah.
I love you, Heather, if you look like this, if you have hair on your head. I love you, Heather, if. And that's a conditional love. And that's what I was brought up in.
Yeah.
So imagine being raised in that,
Yeah.
stepping out into the world, trying to get into a relationship with somebody with conditional love? Come on now.
I do something for you, or you do something for me.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes. And it is that is so
Something for
normal
her.
for you. That was your normal.
It
Right? So
was,
you're
it
used to
was.
it. Yes,
Yeah,
it was really difficult as well. Yes. And we're coming out of that so conditioned and we're coming out of that not knowing any different. That that's just kind of like a rehearsal, setting us up for the most beautiful people we can become. Again, if we
yeah,
choose to and really step into that, we gotta have to step into that pain again and go through it to really come out of it. I love,
yes.
love, love what you have done. So tell me a little bit about your 20s. How did that feel? So you're starting relationships, you're coming a little bit out of the bad girl, trying to be the good girl, and that is full of expectations, right? So kind of what did you do with it?
In my 20s, I started realizing that I could take care of myself, that I wasn't a complete failure, and that I wasn't going to end up in jail and all of
Yeah,
that, like I heard growing up.
yeah,
And I got the opportunity to move away from Bay City to 2.5 hours away from where I grew up at.
yeah,
And I thought if I can make it in Detroit, Michigan, then I can go anywhere in the country and make it. And that was my very first experience of being really extended away from my parents. Now, they were there to support me. And the one thing I give my parents were they were supporting
yeah,
financially. They were there for me
yeah,
materialistic wise and whatnot. My father loved me. That was my angel in my house.
yeah,
So I give props for that. Yet when I moved away and I was there for 2.5 years, I was able to, it was 22 to 24. I was able to see, hey, you can take care of yourself.
yeah,
And then I moved back to Bay City with my FCC license, got a job working in the market in that area because it was a smaller town.
yeah,
Got
yeah,
into my first relationship that was solid. My parents really, really liked him. That was a 5-year relationship.
yeah,
And that was what I was doing in my 20s. And then at 27, I had the opportunity. They changed the law regarding adopted children to
yeah.
be able to open up their records for health purposes.
Yes, 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 yes.
And I just knew that was my chance.
You felt
That
it.
was my opportunity.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew it
yeah,
because I had said all my life growing up, I was going to find my mother.
yeah,
It was my mother, my mother, my mother. That's who I needed to find.
yeah. Yes, yes. And that happened. And that
Oh,
happened. You know it,
God gave me
things
more
start
than that.
bubbling. What did you feel? It was it that's very scary. I've been through that. I was adopted by my dad, my stepdad. I that is a very, very, very difficult and dangerous zone because we're so full of expectations. I think you kind of must have stepped the same way in it. You're like, oh, they must be like amazing and super. And did you have a lot of expectations? Did it meet your expectations or was it scary?
Actually thinking back on it, I can remember saying to myself at 27, Heather, do this now because when you're 50, you won't carry what you're carrying growing up.
Yeah.
whether
Nice.
whatever happens.
Yeah.
And I knew that at 27. So that day that I got to meet them, my birth mother, because God goes over above and beyond and brought me a birth father as well, because they had stayed connected all of my life, because they promised at a young age that they would meet me together. And they did.
Oh,
They held on to
yeah.
that promise. So standing behind that door that day, I told myself, I said, everything that you've ever wanted to know is on the other side of that door. And let me tell you, Elian, when I opened up that door, this is how powerful a connection to your mother is. You know how they lay the baby on the stomach and the mother looks in their eyes? I looked in my mother's eyes for the very first time, and all of what I had carried my lifetime dissipated. That's God. That is God. And then I turned and I saw myself for the very first time in my life, because I looked just like my daddy, just like that man. It
Well,
brings
I would
tears
be
to.
crying and I would be crying and crying and
Oh,
crying.
I was a mess. I was a mess.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, would I do that today at 55? Who knows? That's why I did it at
Yeah.
27,
Yeah.
because we're a lot more courageous and have a lot more courage to do something when we're younger.
Yeah.
Yet I encourage anybody. Today is so much easier. You've got ancestry.com, you've
Yeah.
got so many ways
Yeah.
and avenues to, even if it's not your parents, you might meet your siblings or cousins or aunts or uncles. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let. I am so blessed and grateful I made that choice.
And you kept in touch.
Yes.
And
Oh
you
yes.
added.
Me and my mother, we
And
talk. My sisters, I talk with my birth sisters and my mama, my auntie, my uncles. Oh yeah. Went to their family reunion last year in Tennessee. Met all of my side of the Campbell's family. And that experience shattered whatever was left that my mother said about negative, about how I was gonna be growing up and all of that.
yeah,
Because that isn't what my family is at all.
unbelievable. Well, I don't even want to go there. And definitely today, my show is about love and about caring and giving and sharing. It's not about prejudice, right? And I'm going to stay far away from that because that I cannot even imagine. I can't even imagine. You're
Yet I will say this.
unbelievable.
Today, my mother is my angel,
Yeah.
because she didn't finish what she was to finish on earth. So she chose to finish it in the spiritual realm. And I feel her love, and I talk with her. I talk with
Yeah.
my dad too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know you do. And you're so
And I
open.
know she loves me.
And
I know
so
my mother.
easy with that and so in acceptance. And I believe, and that's why I love having a podcast voice, having our voices out there, using them to get rid of all this nonsense and just treat each
Yes.
other with respect and the same and just this all this I can't deal with it, and it's not good and healthy for me. It's not good and healthy for us. It's ridiculous. So I'm so glad that you found that whole you brought it together. You brought
Yeah.
just in your own family, in your own upbringing, you brought black and white together. You brought everybody together in love and in care. You talk to your angels all the time and you call
Yes.
everybody angels. Tell me about that on your podcast. I love that you do that. I love it. So your
That's
podcast
what.
is called Buzzard's Corner of Love.
Think outside the box. That's right.
Yeah.
And we come on weekly on Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time out here in Los Angeles. And we talk about, have a theme of the month, like today. This month our theme is in alignment with self. And the second Tuesday of every month we have a meditation.
Yeah.
So you can join us for
Yeah.
meditation like that.
Yeah.
Yet that was born out of my love for spirituality. I love God. I told God way back when I was 18. I said, Spirit, these principles work. I will be your biggest cheerleader. And I mean that. And you know yourself, Elian, when you learn something, you can't keep it to yourself. You have to share it.
Yes. Yes. That's
That's
what I
why we're
think.
here.
That's what we're doing as coaches, very much so. But a lot of people do that. I call myself sometimes the bartender, right? I'm in the bartender at heart. I'm in that corner of the cheers, talking to the same person that every day comes in and do their stories and help them and listen
Right.
to and just give them a love hug, right? I like to be the dealer of the hugs, right? That kind of thing is so important. And you're the same. You're the same. You're just loving on people. You're there for them. It's not necessarily only in work. It's you spread it everywhere. You spread it everywhere you
Yes.
go.
Yes.
And I can
Yes.
feel that and I know that about you. We frequently visit. It's all these things that I know that you're giving and that you're feeling and you're giving that away in that spirituality, in your um I'm lost for a minute, in your podcast. Think outside the box. I love that.
Yes.
Think outside the box. That has all to do with God and your love. And you're just talking about forgiveness, about love, about faith, about just keeping the faith, right? That kind of thing. And that's good. Good, good, good.
Yes.
I
People
love it.
need that support,
Yes.
and they need to know that,
Yeah.
they have to have somebody to inspire them because if you look to the news, that'll depress you.
Yeah.
So you got to find somebody good, something good or positive to uplift your own spirits,
Yeah.
especially if you choose. I mean, we're here to live. God gave us joy, happiness,
Yeah.
peace, love to enjoy life. And you know what's so weird, Elian? Because I'm a happy person, people look at me like I'm crazy because I'm
Well,
happy.
that I get too. And
I'm like, oh my
yeah.
God, are you serious?
That's what I say that a lot.
That doesn't
I'm
make
so
sense to
happy I can't
me.
get over myself, and you are like that as well. I'm so happy
Right.
I can't get over myself. It's not, that doesn't mean, I think it's people that maybe are still in a place of pain or still in a place
Yeah. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
hurting and they just can't work with that and they're taking it out because we're
Yes.
just too happy for them. And I get that, but it doesn't mean that we're always happy. I have pain, I have grief, I have sorrow, I have worry, a lot of worry, I have loved ones, all that stuff, but I just choose to stay in that place of faith and hope. That doesn't mean that I have pain and that I'm in bed the whole day sometimes and I'm sick of it, but I'm just, and you are that way. That's exactly what you mean. You're resilient in the
Yes.
way of dealing with whatever life throws at you. And
Yes.
that is that
Yeah.
resilience, the knowing that it will be okay and that God has probably is telling you something. And it might not be nice, it might be very painful, it might be very traumatic, but there is a message. And I think resilient people believe that in a very strong way. It's very much there inside their hearts. And that's why you can have a funeral, but at the same time you can step into pure joy of knowing
Yes.
that the person was loved and you loved them and they made you smile and they made you happy. And that's kind of like that balance of knowing what's in your heart and it's always okay.
And also,
Beautiful.
resilience brings strength, it brings determination, it brings courage,
Yeah.
willingness, all of that resilience. If you have a resilient spirit, because I'll give you an example, and it's in my book. I had a car accident at the age of 15. Now, you would think at the age of 15, getting slammed by a car, being in a coma, being paralyzed, not being able to walk, talk, eat right, none of that, having to relearn all of that all over again.
Yeah.
You would think
Yeah.
somebody would do something different and say, okay, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be the way that I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
It just compounded it and it made it even worse.
Yeah.
And my gosh, it was yet resilient. Resilience. I had the strength, the determination, the courage because the doctors were telling my parents she'll always be like that. She'll have to be in an adult foster care home and raised with people. And no, 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 no. My parents believed it. I didn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is your inside voice. That's God talking to you. That's spirit talking to
That's
you.
right.
Your inside voice just tells you, keep going, keep believing. It's going to be different. I'm going to make it different. And stepping
Yes.
into that place, resilience is also stepping again in that willingness, but also in that place that I tell my son that every day when he grew up, you decide how your day is going to be. You
Yes.
make your day amazing. You decide by choice if you want to be bad, if you want to be good, if you want to be happy, if you want to be, whatever you want to be today, it's still up to you. You are still responsible. Step into that responsible
Yes,
place. And I think that's so important nowadays. That the whole other
I
pet
do too.
peeve, I can go on for another hour on that. Like, why don't we take responsibility and why don't we make it different every day and try to make it different in somebody else's life, right? Again, when you say people say, "Oh, you're so happy all the time," it's because you choose to be happy.
Right.
It's a
Yet
choice.
I can also say though too, on my journey as I learned, when you take responsibility, then you have to look at yourself.
Big
And
time.
if you have to look at yourself, then you have to accept some truths that you might not want to see. And if you accept some truths that you might not want to see, that means you might have to change. And if you have to change, that means you have to step outside your comfort zone. Oh my God.
And think outside the box. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. And that's
Yes.
why we don't take responsibility. And if we have leaders that we see that don't take responsibility,
Yeah.
well, that'll justify it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we won't even go there, Elian.
It's scary. Again, you're just knocking it out of the park. It's the same thing. It's the willingness, the acceptance, making sure that you
Yes,
get to know yourself and kind of want to go there. Want to go to
yes,
your own dirty place and clean your own dirty laundry. It's that place of wanting to go there and stepping into that strength. A lot of people are not ready for that. The people that are ready for it always come to you and me. Those are wonderful people
yes,
to work with. Those are people that are
yes,
amazing. I'm sometimes not saying in a sense of, yeah, we have to change everything. It's just like it's beautiful growth. It is beautiful growth and transformation. You're not going to be
yes.
different. You're just going to add so much more onto your life that you're stepping into when you become that beautiful, shiny person. And I
And
love
life
that
is
about you.
easier.
Yeah.
Life is easier too.
Yeah. Life is easier. It
Yes,
becomes easier if you do that. And if you're responding instead of reacting, the things that we learn, the things that we had to learn to make sure that we can see that in others as well. I find it, and I find that with you as well. It's kind of like where you see other people. And sometimes you even see through a little bit, like, yeah, I know they're still stuck there a little bit, or they need some help here and there. We can see that because we're stepping into that place of coaching and counseling and mentoring. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
beautiful,
And
beautiful.
also, what I've come to realize too is in coaching my clients and empowering them, I'm also empowering myself. And it's iron sharpens iron. It's a win win situation,
Yes.
especially when it's divine. The people that come to me are the ones that are in, vibration with what it is that we do and I do at Buzzard's Corner of Love and myself and my book, Breaking Shame, that identify with that and choose to break their shame and move forward in their life.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's our, and we don't stand still. We want to keep learning. We want to keep growing. One of the most important things that my teacher, my mentor always tells me, be curious all the time. Stay curious,
Yeah.
right? Be willing to
Yes.
learn, even with your own people. Hold up your book. Hold up that book. Grab it from behind you and show it to me. It is, and
Yeah.
I love the cover. I love the cover. Breaking Shame, Reclaiming My Identity by Heather Buzzard. Now everywhere in smaller bookstores and on big bookstore like Amazon. I'm gonna give when we're closing, of course, the show and when we're gonna publish it. You have all the links. We will have all the links to where to find Heather, where to find the book, how to contact you, how to talk to you, how to schedule coaching sessions, all that beautiful stuff, how to listen to your podcast, think outside the box. So Heather, give me a little bit of a closing, like what do you want to share about your social media, your website? What's up? What's up? Where can we find
Well,
you?
I'd
Of
like
course,
to share.
I'll
Well,
link to.
actually, pardon. Say that again. I apologize. Say that again.
I'm gonna just give all the links out, of course, where we can find you. But I want you
Oh
to
no, I heard that. I heard
yeah,
that.
yeah, on the podcast. But I want you to tell the audience what is the easiest way to find you.
Oh, our easiest way to find me is at buzzardscorner.com, buzzardskor, Buzzards Corner with a K.com. That's our website. Email me,
Yeah,
buzzardscorner, buzzardskor, at hotmail.com.
yeah,
They get YouTube, think outside the box. They
yeah,
can always join our community there, join our channel there. Facebook, Heather Buzzard, Buzzard's Corner of Love. You can join our community there. I'm on X, X. Also, I'm on Instagram and Threads. You know, they're all tied together. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We're,
you
we,
can
we got,
reach
we
me
got it
there
all
as well.
there. And I'm sure we're going to spread
Yeah,
information through the podcast as well. We'll be on many, many different channels and we'll be on YouTube. Yeah, go ahead.
there's one thing I'd like to say to
Yeah.
all people out there. Let me just tell you this book that I've written is my past. And it is now a story instead of me being this. And the grace of God chose this book to be in the Los Angeles Book Fair come April 18th and 19th of
Yes.
2026. That's how good God will be to you when you step out on faith, trust, belief, and courage. Now, I ain't saying you have to go write a book, just do you, is what I'm saying.
Listen to God, what he's telling you to do. And he told you to write this book and
That's
put it
right.
out there. And now it's your story. It's not you anymore. And I love that. It is a
That's
story
right.
to help
That's right.
others. And Heather will be at the Los Angeles Book Fair, April 18 and 19, correct? April 18 and
Yes.
19.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. So excited. I wish I could be there. Ugh, me hop on a plane. My goodness, this is going to be great, and it's going to be great, great, great publicity for your book as well. I love you, Heather. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being on the show and having a
Thank
great
you.
conversation with me today. I can go on forever. We're going to close it out. We're going to make sure that the audience can find us and they can listen again and see us on YouTube, of course, on yeah, on the YouTube channel, but also listen on a lot of channels on podcasts. So thank you, dearest friend,
Thank you
for
so
being here today. Love you and much success with your book and everything. Thank you.
thank you so much, Elian, for having me on today. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.